Hey everyone, welcome to Volume 8. I'm going to just try and fly through these as quickly as I can because lots to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is how the mighty have fallen in the NHL. Remember at the beginning of the season everyone was saying Pittsburgh, New York, and Montreal were going to run away with the Eastern Conference. Didn't happen. All three teams have gone into the tank recently. Same with Ottawa too, I forgot to mention them, but everyone knows for a while what's been happening to them. But Pittsburgh's not even in a playoff spot right now. Everyone thought it was Therrien. Well, he's gone. They're still losing. I don't know if anyone saw them today, but they looked bad against Washington. I really can't figure out what's wrong with this team. I know they have no depth. Like, it's beyond Crosby, Malkin, Stahl. Really, what do they have up front? I think Fedotenko and Shatan are both candidates for heart transplants. And why the Pittsburgh Brain Trust thought that these guys would be adequate replacements for Armstrong and Hossa, they're out of their mind, okay? These guys are not very good at all. They were the two best players on the Islanders last year, and look how well the Islanders did. I think that speaks volumes about it. But I could sit here and rant and bitch about Pittsburgh for hours, but I'm not going to because about 700 people would read me out for it. The New York Rangers, on the other hand, not a lot of people have realized how bad they're actually playing. In October, they were the best team in the league by far, playing unbelievably. I didn't know how they were doing this. I was never too impressed with their team to begin with, but now they're starting to play more like I expected them to. They're slipping right out of a playoff spot slowly but surely. Scott Gomez, Chris Drury, where are you? Their defense is mediocre. I feel bad for Lundqvist. I want to blame him, but really when the team in front of you is not doing anything, you can't blame it on the goalie, especially when they're the lowest scoring team in the league. Naslund, his best days are long behind him. He was an excellent scorer in Vancouver, but that didn't hold up too long, and I don't know. I just think it's time to take him out to pasture and put him on the third line. As for Ottawa, why reiterate a point that's been made already? My next topic is a request from Card Collector 94. He wanted to know if I thought the Caps had what it took to make the Stanley Cup. Win the Stanley Cup. Yes, I do. But Theodore really makes me nervous in net. He's one of those guys where he can steal a game at any given night, but he's going to blow the next three afterwards. Their offense is unquestionable. It's ridiculous. They can score at will, and with Mike Green on the back end working as basically a rover or fourth forward, however you want to call it, scoring goals isn't a problem. Their defense has actually surprised me this year. I thought for sure that would be their weakness, but they're actually playing above their potential. If they keep playing like that in the playoffs, I don't know if they'll be able to pull it off because, playoffs is a whole new level. But as of right now, they look in good shape, and they're my favorites to come out of the East this year. But that's that. Okay, my next request comes from Matt Smaby. He wanted me to know my thoughts on Mike McKenna. Who? Okay, I'm saying that as a joke. I know he's the guy that they called up to fill in for whichever goalie of the week they had that's injured now, which, I don't know, Smith's hurt or Kolzig's hurt, I don't know. I admittedly don't watch a lot of Tampa Bay games because, well, lately they've been as fun as watching paint dry, but from what I've gathered from highlights and word of mouth, he seems to be doing okay. I don't think he's going to finish the season with the team. I think he's just one of these flash-in-the-pan guys because some of the goals he has let in have been pretty questionable. But then again, it's the same thing as Jonathan Quick. I don't know. This guy could come into left field and start being a starter, but I'm always very skeptical about guys like this. And I have another request. This one's from Desh1977. He wanted to know my thoughts on Claude Giroux. Now, Philly's another one of those teams I don't watch too often, but I've watched enough of them. I watched when they beat the crap out of the Rangers last weekend. But what I can gather from Claude Giroux is I watched a lot of his junior games and a lot of his Team Canada stuff. And if he plays in the NHL anything like he did there, this guy is going to be good. Very good. I love the way this guy plays. He plays with a bit of grit, but his skill is out of this world. If they can get him eventually on a line with Jeff Carter and the skilled guys like this, he could take off. I don't think it'll be this year, probably not next year because he still needs to physically mature and probably mentally a bit too. But once this guy gets into his groove in the NHL and gets playing like the way he can and the way he has, he should be a bona fide scorer in the league for a long time. Alright, my next thing, I want to hear your thoughts on something. As the 2010 Olympics are about a year away, and as everyone knows, hockey is the only really event anybody cares about. I'll watch some of the other ones, but really, hockey is what it's all about. So, I want to know your thoughts. If you were to pick the 2010 Canadian Olympic hockey team now, who would it be? I've got a thread started for it on CloutsnChara.com, link in the sidebar. If you're not registered, it's free to register. Just go ahead and do it, because I want to see what everyone else thinks. And if you're not Canadian, whatever country you're from, let's see who your team would be. And for anybody who's from Sweden and they make their list, Louis Eriksson better be on it. But, so yeah, link in the sidebar. Who do you think should it be? Time for my heroes this week. And I bet anyone saw these coming. First hero, Steven Stamkos of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now, I feel bad for the guy. He's on a terrible team. He's trying to live up to a lot of hype, and he isn't putting up all the numbers people expected of him. He's been playing decent, but, he's still young. He's only 18, remember. But, I think he's finally starting to come into his own, and the hat trick he had against Chicago, he looked really impressive, and yet the team behind him is so great, they still lost. But, all in all, great performance by Steven. He's hero number 1. Hero number 2 actually brought some good from a bad situation. Now, Montreal, as you all know, told Alex Kovalev, stay home, we don't want you to play this week. So most players, when that happens, would react absolutely terribly. What does this guy do? Comes back against Ottawa and plays great. The effort was there, the skill was there. He was back to his old and usual self. So, just for coming back with a positive attitude after a negative situation, he's hero number 2. Now for everyone's favorite part, the zeros. First zero, or zeros that is, Pittsburgh Penguins. Now I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they were playing above their capability. They have no depth, which is true. Up front, they have no depth. But when you look at their roster top to bottom compared to the teams below them in the league and even around them, they should be playing a lot better than they are. When you actually watch their games, like today against Washington, it's not that the skill is what's killing them. It's that they don't care. Guys like Crosby and Malkin, they're just floating. They wake up when they want to. If they played like they can every game, they can steal games. Look at the game against Philly. Crosby stole that game single-handedly. So, the floating on Pittsburgh is what's killing them. I don't think they're a top-end team when they play great at their best, but I still think they're a playoff team. But the way they're playing right now, they're a candidate for John Tavares, is basically what they are. So, hopefully they get out of that funk. Zero number 2, Scott Gomez of the New York Rangers. Now, the team on the whole is playing terribly, but if I were to single out one guy, it's him. Now, he's supposed to be their catalyst on offense. You got the all-around kind of finisher in Jury. You got the old guy who puts up the points in Naslund. And then Gomez is kind of the glue that's supposed to hold them all together. He's not doing it. He's not playing good at all. He's not putting up points. His plus-minus is atrocious. And he just generally doesn't look like he cares when he plays. Now, I don't know, maybe Tom Rennie might be the problem, but they just don't look like a motivated team, and Scott Gomez is the poster boy of that right now. Well, that's it for Volume 8. Don't forget to go to cbc.ca on February 28th when the voting opens for Kraft Hockeyville and vote for Woolwich Township. Thanks for watching.